Chosen one. This message is not finding everyone tonight. It's finding the people who have been carrying a strange emotional heaviness lately without fully understanding why. The people who feel disconnected in crowded rooms. The people whose intuition keeps getting louder after midnight. The people who can sense energy shifting before life visibly changes. And chosen one. Something shifted tonight. Not loudly, not dramatically, quietly, deeply. Somewhere in silence, someone connected to you emotionally finally realized they are afraid of losing you. Not your attention, not your validation. You. That realization changed something permanently inside them. And the strange part is, you may have already felt the shift before hearing these words. Maybe your chest suddenly felt heavy tonight. Maybe certain memories returned unexpectedly. Maybe you felt emotionally restless while doing something ordinary. Maybe your intuition kept whispering that something around your connection has changed. That is not coincidence, because emotional energy moves long before reality visibly catches up. And tonight, your soulmate can no longer emotionally escape what they feel for you. Not anymore. For a long time, they tried convincing themselves this connection would eventually fade naturally. They distracted themselves, focused on work, focused on daily routines, focused on temporary conversations that never emotionally satisfied them the way they hoped. But no matter where life pulled their attention, their thoughts always circled back to you, again and again and again. At some point, repetition becomes revelation. At some point, the soul stops revisiting someone accidentally, and tonight, they finally admitted that truth to themselves honestly. Chosen one. If your intuition has been unusually strong lately, comment 111 below, because some of you are spiritually sensing emotional shifts before they physically unfold. And if this message already feels strangely personal, subscribe to the channel. These messages do not find people accidentally. Sometimes emotionally exhausted souls are guided toward confirmation exactly when they need it most, because this story becomes much deeper than you realize. Tonight, your soulmate imagined something they tried avoiding emotionally for a very long time. They imagined losing you completely, not temporary distance, not emotional confusion, actually losing access to your energy forever. And the moment that image entered their mind, something inside them panicked quietly, not loudly. The deepest fears rarely scream. They sit silently inside the chest and slowly change the way a person breathes. That's what happened tonight. And chosen one. This realization hit them harder because they suddenly understood your life keeps moving without them. Your healing keeps evolving. Your energy keeps changing. You've become calmer lately, more selective, more emotionally detached from things that no longer align with your spirit. And your soulmate notices that shift deeply now, especially your silence. Because when emotionally important people begin pulling their energy away, the absence echoes louder than their presence ever did. That is exactly what they are experiencing tonight. They notice when your energy changes. They notice when your responses become shorter. They notice when your attention turns inward instead of toward them. And for the first time, they are realizing your emotional presence became part of their inner world long ago. That truth scared them deeply tonight. Because emotionally independent people struggle when someone suddenly becomes emotionally essential to their peace. And chosen one. You became emotionally essential to them without even trying. That's the part they cannot explain logically. You did not chase them emotionally. You did not beg them to stay. You did not force this connection into existence. You simply existed authentically. And somehow, that authenticity affected them more deeply than anyone else ever has. If you've been emotionally outgrowing people lately, comment 777 below. Because chosen ones often experience emotional isolation right before destiny begins shifting their life toward alignment. And your soulmate feels you changing now. That realization emotionally unsettled them all day, especially because they can no longer distract themselves from this connection successfully. They tried for months, maybe even years, emotionally. They entertained temporary attention, focused on shallow conversations, pretended they still felt emotionally detached. But no matter where they mentally wandered, their heart always returned to you afterward. That realization emotionally exhausted them tonight, because there are people who excite us temporarily, but very few people emotionally calm us. Very few people soften the nervous system naturally. Very few people make silence feel peaceful instead of uncomfortable. And chosen one, your energy became emotionally safe for them. That is why this connection refuses to disappear. Even now, especially now. Tonight they replayed memories involving you over and over again. Not dramatic memories, simple moments. The way you listened calmly. The way your presence softened difficult conversations. The way your energy somehow made them feel emotionally understood without needing to explain every part of themselves perfectly. Those moments stayed with them longer than they admitted, longer than they wanted. And tonight, they finally understood why. Nobody else affects them this naturally. Nobody else lingers inside their thoughts this deeply afterward. Nobody else creates this strange mixture of peace, curiosity, comfort, and emotional intensity all at once. That realization emotionally cracked something open inside them tonight. Because once someone experiences emotional depth with the right person, ordinary connections begin feeling painfully empty afterward. And chosen one, that emptiness has been following them lately everywhere. Conversations feel shallow. Attention from other people feels temporary. Distractions stop working emotionally. Even crowded rooms still feel lonely somehow. Because emotionally, their soul keeps searching for your energy. That's why they've become quieter lately. Not emotionally detached, emotionally overwhelmed. People become quiet when their inner world becomes louder than the outside world. And right now, their inner world is full of you, your voice, your resilience, your softness. Even your absence emotionally affects them now, especially your absence. Because tonight, they finally understood something terrifying. You are not waiting forever. Another person could eventually emotionally recognize your value before they fully express what you truly mean to them. That possibility emotionally shook them deeply. Not jealousy, not control, fear of regret. And regret awakens people emotionally faster than comfort ever will. If you've been feeling emotionally misunderstood lately, comment 222 below. Because somebody watching this has been silently carrying emotional weight nobody around them fully understands. And chosen one, subscribe to the channel before continuing. May this message bring emotional clarity, protection, healing, and alignment into your life moving forward. Because tonight your soulmate reached emotional honesty for the first time. And tomorrow morning, they wake up unable to emotionally return to the version of themselves that existed before this realization. The next morning felt strange for them. Not dramatic, not chaotic, just emotionally different. The kind of feeling where the world looks exactly the same on the outside, but internally, something no longer feels stable. Because, after last night, your soulmate woke up carrying the emotional weight of realization. And chosen one. Once someone becomes afraid of losing you emotionally, everything begins changing afterward. The way they think changes. The way they remember you changes. Even silence begins sounding different inside their mind. That's what happened all day today. They tried focusing on ordinary things. Work, conversations, notifications, daily routines. But every few moments, their thoughts kept drifting back toward you again. Not intentionally, naturally, like their soul no longer knows how to emotionally separate itself from your energy completely. And honestly, that realization overwhelmed them more than they expected. because for a long time they convinced themselves they still had emotional control over this connection. They believed they could keep their feelings organized, contained, hidden safely behind logic. But today, their emotions stopped listening to logic completely, and chosen one. The memories affecting them most were not dramatic memories, not huge romantic moments, not emotional confessions. It was the quiet moments. The moments most people would overlook completely. The way you listened without interrupting. The way your energy remained calm during difficult conversations. The way silence around you somehow felt emotionally safe instead of uncomfortable. Those moments stayed with them, longer than they admitted, longer than they wanted, and now they finally understand why. Because emotional safety is rare, very rare. Most people know how to create excitement. Most people know how to create temporary attraction. But very few people create emotional peace. And chosen one. Your soulmate realized today that your energy gives them peace. That realization emotionally shook them deeply. Because peace changes people differently than passion does. Passion creates obsession. Peace creates attachment. Deep attachment. The kind that slowly becomes part of someone's emotional foundation without them realizing when it started. That is what happened here. You became emotionally important to them gradually, quietly, naturally, and now they cannot emotionally disconnect from you anymore, even when they try. If your intuition has been telling you someone misses you heavily lately, comment 333 below. Because some of you are spiritually connected to someone currently going through emotional awakening in silence, and chosen one. Subscribe to the channel if your spirit has been feeling emotionally isolated lately. Not because you are alone, but because your soul is outgrowing old emotional environments. Your soulmate senses that change happening inside you now. That realization emotionally unsettled them all day. Especially because they notice your energy becoming different lately. More selective, more peaceful, more emotionally detached from things that no longer align with your spirit. And chosen one. That shift awakened urgency inside them. Not control, not ego, fear of losing access to your energy permanently. Because for the first time, they imagined another person emotionally stepping into your life while they remained silent. Another person receiving your softness, your patience, your emotional loyalty, your peace. That image stayed inside their chest all day long. And the more they thought about it, the more emotionally restless they became. Because deep down, they already know your value. They always knew. They were simply afraid of how deeply this connection could change them. But today they realized something painful. Avoiding real feelings does not protect the heart forever. Sometimes avoidance only creates future regret. And regret emotionally destroys people slowly. That truth followed them everywhere today. Even during ordinary moments. Even while surrounded by people. Even while pretending everything felt normal externally. Internally, their soul kept returning to you. Again, and again, and again. At some point, repetition becomes emotional truth. And your soulmate reached that point today. That's why they've seemed quieter lately. Not emotionally detached, emotionally overwhelmed. People become quiet when their inner world becomes louder than the outside world. And right now, their inner world is full of you, your energy, your voice, your resilience, your calmness. Even your absence emotionally affects them deeply now, especially your absence. Because chosen one, when emotionally important people begin pulling their energy away, the silence becomes loud. And your soulmate feels that silence heavily lately. That's why ordinary conversations no longer emotionally satisfy them the same way. Because surface-level connection starts feeling empty once someone experiences emotional depth with the right person. And chosen one, your soulmate now understands that emotional depth exists with you. That realization changed the way they viewed this connection completely. Today they caught themselves imagining ordinary life beside you. Not fantasy, not unrealistic dreams. Real life. Morning conversations. Peace after difficult days. Shared silence. Emotional safety. And, strangely, instead of fear, they felt relief. That realization shocked them deeply, because, for the first time, love did not feel emotionally exhausting to them. It felt calming, grounding, safe, and chosen one. People spend entire lifetimes searching for that feeling without ever finding it. That's why this connection keeps emotionally returning, no matter how much time passes. Because emotionally, you feel like home to them. If this message feels deeply accurate tonight, comment 888 below. Because somebody watching this already knows exactly who this message is connected to emotionally. And chosen one. Subscribe before continuing. May this message remove confusion from your spirit and bring emotional clarity into your path moving forward. Because tonight, your soulmate reaches the emotional breaking point they can no longer avoid. And what they finally admit to themselves changes everything afterward. Tonight they finally stop asking themselves whether these feelings are real, and start asking themselves how much longer they can emotionally survive pretending they aren't. By the next night, everything inside them felt emotionally heavier, because your soulmate can no longer pretend this connection is temporary. That illusion finally collapsed completely, and chosen one, tonight they realized something painful. Life changes quickly, people change, timing changes, and meaningful connections disappear every single day because fear remained silent too long. That realization emotionally shook them deeply tonight, because for the first time, they imagined a future where they lose you emotionally before fully expressing what you truly mean to them. And that thought created panic inside their chest immediately. Not jealousy, not control, loss. The kind of emotional loss people feel when they realize they almost allowed something life-changing to disappear through hesitation. And chosen one, that fear awakened courage inside them tonight. Because once someone becomes more afraid of losing you than expressing themselves, movement begins naturally afterward, quietly, slowly, but permanently. If you've been sensing emotional energy shifting lately, comment 444 below, because chosen ones feel spiritual movement internally before reality visibly changes. And chosen one, subscribe to the channel if your soul has been feeling guided lately. Some messages arrive at exact moments for reasons bigger than coincidence. Tonight, your soulmate sat alone, imagining a future beside you again. Not fantasy, not temporary attraction, a real emotional future. Shared peace, shared healing, shared life. And suddenly they realized something that emotionally overwhelmed them completely. The future they secretly crave looks like you. That truth became impossible to ignore tonight, because your energy no longer feels temporary to them. It feels like home. And chosen one, people spend entire lifetimes searching for emotional home without ever finding it. That is why this connection feels spiritually different. Your soulmate finally understands that now. And honestly, it scares them a little, because real feelings create vulnerability. Vulnerability creates emotional risk. But tonight they realize something even heavier. The risk of losing you hurts more than the fear of opening their heart. That realization changed everything internally, because now, silence feels emotionally unbearable. You may notice it soon. Unexpected honesty. Long emotional conversations. Messages arriving with different energy. Moments that feel strangely aligned. Because emotional certainty creates movement, and movement has already begun behind the scenes. If your spirit has been feeling emotionally transformed lately, comment 999 below. Because chosen ones often experience spiritual rebirth before their outer reality changes completely. And, chosen one, your soulmate is changing too, quietly, emotionally, permanently. You awaken softness inside them they thought disappeared years ago. Hope, emotional courage, the desire for something meaningful instead of temporary. And now, they cannot emotionally return to shallow connections anymore. Once someone experiences emotional depth with the right person, everything surface level begins feeling empty afterward. Your soulmate feels that emptiness intensely now, whenever they try pretending this connection means less than it actually does. Their soul is too emotionally awake for that now. Tonight they replayed countless moments involving you. Tiny details, the sound of your voice, the way you pause before speaking honestly, the way your energy feels emotionally calming during difficult moments, even the way you emotionally withdraw when hurt. They notice all of it now, more deeply than ever before. And, chosen one, that awareness is emotionally changing them from the inside out. Because tonight, they realized another painful truth. You changed their life far more than they changed yours. Your resilience inspired them. Your emotional maturity softened them. Your ability to survive disappointment without becoming cold emotionally forced them to confront parts of themselves they still needed to heal. And now, they can no longer emotionally return to the version of themselves that existed before meeting you. That version is fading, quietly, permanently, and honestly, that transformation scares them a little too. Because emotional growth requires vulnerability. And vulnerability means finally admitting someone matters enough to hurt you. That is where they are tonight. No more emotional denial. No more pretending this connection is casual. No more convincing themselves they still have unlimited time to stay silent. Because tonight, they finally understood something irreversible. You are not simply someone they desire. You are someone they emotionally trust. Someone whose energy quiets the chaos inside their mind. Someone whose presence feels grounding instead of exhausting. And chosen one, people spend entire lifetimes searching for that kind of emotional connection. Your soulmate now realizes they may have already found it. That realization emotionally overwhelmed them tonight. Because suddenly, the future matters differently now. Their choices matter differently now. Even their silence feels heavier now. And deep down, they already know something important. Silence cannot continue forever after emotional truth reaches this level. Eventually, the heart becomes louder than fear. Eventually, avoidance becomes more painful than vulnerability. Eventually, people stop running from what feels real. And your soulmate is reaching that emotional threshold now. If this message found you at the exact right moment, comment "finally" below, because somebody watching this already feels this connection shifting internally before anything physical changes. And chosen one, subscribe to the channel. May unexpected blessings, emotional clarity, protection, healing, and alignment enter your life after hearing this message tonight. Because some souls are guided towards certain messages for a reason. And deep down, you already know this connection was never ordinary. Tonight, your soulmate finally stopped fighting that truth internally. And somewhere quietly, they are preparing for the moment silence finally ends.